What it do, Snackers, Snackers, and Snack X's? It is your boy Gage. Jokes is in the house. He made it on time. Sin is in the house.
Yes, sir.
You are now tuned in to Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and we talk about all kinds of things that are happening in pop culture. And today we suffered a slight technical difficulty, so we're a little behind.
What up, Doc?
Doctor Who?
What's good? And J. Robert Dean's in the building.
Hey,
Robert Deans, Papa Deans himself.
Hey, they just found this kid on the street and was like, "We just want to give you a chance."
That's
what it was.
Here he is.
Just gave me a chance.
Here he is, getting a chance, getting an opportunity. How's everybody feeling? We good?
Yeah,
we good.
Yeah, we good.
What are you drinking?
This is a big hug.
What up, Heather?
Yeah, so the hug obviously
a big hug.
Hey, listen, these Jones was 50 cents, and I was like, "Oh, word!"
Listen, Huggies are bomb.
I haven't had a Huggy in years, and my pops stay on them things.
Hey, listen,
they bomb.
They delicious.
And I feel you. I just don't like the way you're drinking out of that. Like it just doesn't seem.
It doesn't have the aluminum. Hey, easy. Put the Scott back on. Call it a day.
I don't know. It's just something about it. Like it just doesn't look right. I don't know. Oh my goodness. What? Man, let me tell you.
What's good, Greg?
Ocean Spray, great.
What up, Greg?
Gee, what's good? What's good? Frosty.
Yo.
Look.
Big Frost.
Jokes.
Yo.
You have a job to do. Todd, what up?
No, you didn't see them. I can't do my job right now.
Listen to me, dog. There's a lot of ways you can speak to me.
All right, I'll do it the sin way.
It's already being done. It's already being done, sir. Okay.
Good job.
That's a lot of listen. J. Robert Deans, I saw K-pop and BTS, and I just stopped reading. So
Z will pop in the next 5 seconds.
She's busy, bro. She's at a concert.
Oh no, she is not going to be hot.
K-popping. You know what I mean? She's working in Live Nation streets these days now.
Hey.
It's for real. You know what I mean? You gotta have it in. Thank you, Sin, for doing Joke's job. I appreciate you.
No, it's not that. It's some things that we're trying to work out with the system, and yeah.
Realistically, J. Robert Deans, he knows what he has to do in order for it to work.
Hey, listen,
do it.
Sin wants to go do it the whole around the world way, so let my man Sin go do it the whole around the world way.
Fixed. It's done. I'm not arguing with your jokes. I'm not arguing with you.
It's fine. You're not.
So now, where were we?
Sure, you can do that, but remember, I can still do that at least.
I mean, I'm okay with that. I just, now he can't put it.
Exactly. So you can just stay in timeout, good sir.
Look at him working it out.
You know I'm not the one that kicked you.
No, I know. And you laugh. So that's just as bad.
Oh, that's how it is? Got it. Okay.
Keep it in mind. Here comes the beef. Sin, you have a job to do.
Yeah, so let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Reticular Skin, Alex Lee, and Ellis Mbaye. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
It is true, we do. Remember those top tier patrons and our other patrons also get access to some content that doesn't show up anywhere else. So if you feel so inclined, shoot over, check out the Patreon. What up, Kerm?
That's good, man.
What up?
Man, we got some things to talk about. So here's what I want to do, because I don't want to bog this joint down with video game talk too deep. But did you guys see yesterday that the EU approved Microsoft's purchase of Activision Blizzard?
Sure did.
Saw that?
Uh-huh.
Well, it got froggy today.
Okay.
CMA was like, we don't care. We don't care what they say.
No.
It's kind of stupid, actually. Yeah, basically, look,
Hey,
in a nutshell,
real comic book.
Well.
What
Hey,
is up?
hey, look, listen. They've been posting some content. I've been keeping up. Like, it's been getting a little regular. Somebody might be ready.
okay,
Come on.
okay.
What's up, Kai?
What up,
Yeah. So look, so
Spicy indeed.
all the time. So look, the EU basically said they still think that cloud gaming could be an issue. So they had some very specific things that they feel like they need Microsoft to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in order to, they had some concessions. Microsoft agreed to the concessions, and so that's what it is. They're like, the console space, it doesn't really matter. Like, basically, they were like, Sony has so much market share that it's almost stupid. You know what I'm saying? For them to even complain at all. We need y'all to come on through. I mean, hey, dog, you have my number.
We see you,
and we're friends on social media, so you can just send a message.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hit us up, bro. You know what I mean? We ready. You know what I mean? Because if there's one thing we have, it's opinions, and I know that's what you want. Yeah. So look, just to kind of give an overview of what they said. So I'm reading directly from their page, from their post, from the EU's post.
Mm-hmm.
It says, in particular, the commission found that, one, Microsoft would have no incentive to refuse to distribute Activision's games to Sony, which is the leading distributor of console games worldwide, including the European Economic Area, where there are 4 Sony PlayStation consoles for every Microsoft Xbox console bought by gamers. Indeed, Microsoft would have strong incentives to continue distributing Activision's games via a device as popular as Sony's PlayStation. So that's one. Before I read anything else.
What up, Perk?
Perk,
what up, Salute?
How do we feel about that statement in and of itself?
Facts.
I mean, yeah, no problem with it. Yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah, no problem so far.
Let's move on. Even if Microsoft did decide to withdraw Activision's games from the PlayStation, this would not significantly harm competition in the console's market. Even if Call of Duty is largely played on console, it is less popular in the EEA than in other regions of the world, and is less popular in the EEA within its genre compared to other markets. Therefore, even without being able to offer this specific game, Sony could leverage its size, extensive games catalog, and market position to fend off any attempt to weaken its competitive position. Thoughts? Hey, we can get together. I mean, I heard we were having a party for Killer's graduation. That's what I heard.
Hey,
that's what I heard.
At this point, it's just like, y'all, just let it go through. Like, listen, I know Microsoft, you know, they've been focusing on doing this cloud thing for a very long time. And sadly and unfortunately, all these other companies just can't keep up to get to that point. When you're good at something, like obviously Microsoft is in a lot more spaces in comparison to like Sony with the PlayStation. So obviously being in computers, technology side of things gives them a little bit of a leg up to be in that position. And I don't think Microsoft is going to, don't get me wrong, as a company, you're going to want to do things that make people come your way to your things that you're doing. But at least from what Phil Spencer and the things that we've heard from them, they don't want to hurt gaming. They're trying to give more people the opportunity to get in line. Like if you're not able to, let's say, fortunately, you know what, you can't buy a PS5, you can't buy a Series X or one of these consoles. Here's Game Pass. You have a computer at home. Doesn't really make a difference what type of computer you have. It's in the cloud. Come join us. Like, and I see that as a win for everybody. But just because Microsoft is playing very good in the cloud space right now, they're making it. Oh, you're gonna have a monopoly.
I'll be honest. I don't even know if that's completely the case. But I mean, there's. I hope it goes through too, because I'm kind of tired of talking about it. But
But something keeps happening. It's like
J. Robert
Sorry,
Dean.
J. Robert.
The
Kid
reality
Lit.
of it is, right? Kid Lit. Love back at you, dear.
Mhm.
The reality of it is that within the console space, I mean, Nintendo's still a player, but what I probably find the most interesting is that there is this overarching concern that Microsoft, and we'll get to it, but that Microsoft has an advantage in cloud, and that it may put them so far ahead, and that they may capture so much market share that it would be unfair or be an unfair advantage. But nobody is in turn turning and looking at what Sony already has or is doing and saying, hey, something here isn't fair or is an unfair advantage or something along those lines.
I'm only
And
trying to pay people. Like,
I do feel like they're, but the thing about it is, how can Sony pay people more than Microsoft? They can't. Is Nintendo still a player? Absolutely.
Nintendo has their lane. They have their lane. They do what they do. Granted, I know they want to be in this a little bit more in the space, but they're doing good at what it is that they do.
They're great at it.
Nintendo is we don't have to talk about the Spider-Man comic, but we can if you want to. You know? Nintendo is in a space where, because they don't have a console that competes at a high tech level, they are considered they actually specifically have categorized the high end console market space as a space that only Nintendo and Microsoft are in. I disagree. Listen. I plugged in the Switch 2 days ago. I don't know why, and just started going through, just looking at what was there, and like the first like 3 things I came across were like straight up mature.
They have the mature joints now for sure.
It's there now. I don't want to play them there, but there are. Let me try to help put a little perspective on it. Imagine if Nintendo actually made a console with the same amount of power as an Xbox, PlayStation would like. Hey, listen, let me tell you something. What Nintendo is doing better than the competition, Sony used to do. When everybody was chasing mascots, Crash Bandicoots and Sly Coopers and all that kind of stuff, Nintendo has kept that and maintained that. What Nintendo is doing very well, and this is one of the things that like Phil Spencer has talked about on the Xbox side, is like, we need Nintendo. Nintendo's so important. The reason for that is because Nintendo makes gamers out of 4-year-olds, out of 5-year-olds, out of 6-year-olds, and then they stay gamers for the rest of their lives. They eventually move on to your PlayStations and your Xboxes because they come up on Mario Kart and Mario and Donkey Kong, and because those franchises are still so strong. And then as a parent right now, when you go to introduce your child to gaming, you introduce them through the same ones that you started playing on. Mario and Donkey Kong and Kirby and Pokemon, and right? And so they have the Disney thing down. We've talked plenty of times about what Disney does so much better. What Marvel is currently doing so much better than DC is they are hitting the children. Catch them
Gotta get the children
and make them fans for life. So MCU films being capped at PG-13 for the last 12 years, that's why.
Did just that, yeah.
Disney's business plan is catch them when they're 2, when they're 3, and they just stay, because eventually those people have 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds, and they bring them back, and then they have 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds, and they bring them back. And so having generations upon generations of people who love the same thing, who grew up on it, and it reinvents itself for a new generation, but they're the same characters, that's a thing Nintendo has and does better than any of the rest of these. these console manufacturers. So their lane is different, but it is so necessary. If we lose Nintendo, somebody would have to try to fill that gap. And if that happened, they would just become Sega. There would be no Nintendo console.
Yeah.
But their franchises have to go somewhere.
Yeah, they'll live on somebody else's platform.
Yeah.
And Microsoft tried to buy them in like 2002. And they seriously considered it, which is new knowledge. Like within the past like 6 months, new knowledge. Like people knew they tried to buy them and thought it was just like Nintendo was just like, come on, dog, stop playing. Because they did initially think it wasn't serious. And when they realized that Microsoft was serious about it, they had like 10 meetings about it. Like to discuss it. Like, yo,
after the first meeting. So go ahead and run that back by us one more time.
Can you just say those numbers again to the room? Just run that back.
I just had to make sure, right? Just had to make sure.
Man, it's a real thing. So, you know, look, Nintendo is super important. They just don't have high-end consoles, and I think that's a lot of what the difference is. They also said even without this transaction, Activision would not have made its games available for multi-game subscription services, as this would cannibalize sales of individual games. Therefore, the situation for third-party providers of multi-game subscription services would not change after the acquisition of Activision by Microsoft. So basically what that's talking about is how Activision already has a plan in place that says that they don't allow their games to go on the streaming services. So they don't allow their games to go on to services like Game Pass or into PlayStation Plus or something like that. Like that's already a thing for them because they believe that it would cannibalize their individual sales of the games that they do have. So they already have a thing in place where they wouldn't do that. Because that's the case, even if Microsoft was going to do it, it would make it more available to other people, but it doesn't harm the competition because if they don't buy them, they're not putting their games on those services anyway.
Right.
That's basically what it is.
Hey, mama.
It says the acquisition would harm competition in the distribution of PC and console games via cloud game streaming services, an innovative market segment that could transform the way many gamers play video games. Despite its potential, cloud game streaming is very limited today. The commission found that the popularity of Activision's games could promote its growth. Instead, if Microsoft made Activision games exclusive to its own cloud game streaming service, Game Pass Ultimate, and withheld them from rival cloud game streaming providers, it would reduce competition in the distribution of games via cloud game streaming. They basically, I mean, that is a long-winded way to say, even though cloud gaming is new, Activision's library is so extensive that if they did decide to make their games exclusive to Game Pass, it could harm
everybody else
growth of cloud gaming. And then it says if Microsoft made Activision's games exclusive to its own cloud game streaming service, Microsoft could also strengthen the position of Windows in the market for PC operating systems. And this would be the case should Microsoft hinder or degrade the streaming of Activision's games on PCs using operating systems other than Windows. So that is the gist of it. Then they go on to basically say what they want Microsoft to do in order for them to approve it. And so here's what they came up with. To address the competition concerns identified by the commission in the market for the distribution of PC and console games via cloud game streaming services, Microsoft offered the following comprehensive licensing commitments with a 10-year duration. So mind you, this is what Microsoft offered to them when they told them we're still concerned about cloud. Here's what they offered to do. So a free license to consumers in the EEA that would allow them to stream via any cloud game streaming services of their choice all current and future Activision Blizzard PC and console games for which they have a license. And then a corresponding free license to cloud game streaming service providers to allow EEA-based gamers to stream any Activision Blizzard's PC and console games. So Basically, they have said if you do it, it's cool, but not only do you have to allow all of their games to be streamed on cloud, but you also have to give. Let me just I have a here. Let's do this.
That was right on cue, actually.
Right.
You did that.
You know,
Okay.
if you look at the image class, you see Microsoft's name in the cloud and the TV, and then Activision Blizzard, and then an arrow pointing down that says no harm to distribution of console games. That's it. Console gaming in the EEA, 6 billion euros. It's a lot of money. So then it shows if they were to block the little red arrow, no access to Activision Blizzard's games, that would be a problem. So the remedies: free license access to all Activision games for cloud game streaming providers and users, creates opportunities for innovation, prevents barriers for competition. So all those competitors, including Microsoft adding into it, cloud gaming users, 300 million. So you're talking about 300 million euros versus console gaming at 6 billion. Mm-hmm. So for a lot of people, their issue is like, yo, why even attempt to block this for something that is so small? Like the percentage is so small in cloud gaming compared to what console is. It's just because of the foothold that PlayStation already has in that space. And that because cloud is new and we're at the beginning of it, what they're attempting to do is basically beat it to the punch, not allow it to get into a position where it could be harmful to competition for other people. They made a statement basically saying that their belief that Microsoft doing that actually would help force innovation. So if you look at it this way, if you are a cloud gaming upstart company,
okay,
and you've decided, you know what, a console doesn't make sense because Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony, they got that lock. What do I look like trying to bring a console into that space? However, we have access to do this stuff in the cloud. We just have to be able to ink these deals with these publishers and so forth to get the content to be able to compete. In a world where Microsoft actually has to allow you, if you're a brand new streaming service for cloud gaming, they have to give you the entire Activision Blizzard library. There's plenty of reason for anybody to choose to try you out, right? To say, look,
there's a lot of content you have access to right off the bat.
A lot of content, right? Yeah. So yes, you might have to go out and then do a deal with Ubisoft and go out and do a deal with EA and
to get their games on your cloud service,
right? Indies or whatever to try to pull all of those things. But like, if Microsoft just had control of it, you come into the market space and they're like, we don't really like you. So we're not going to give you. Now, I'm going to tell you what my honest to goodness opinion of what this really means is. And again, the CMA did speak up and say, we don't care what they said. We still think it's wrong and we not. It's probably moot. Like, I don't really think it's going to matter. But here's what I do think could be a problem in the future if they're not very careful. And here's the thing. The EU tends to be much more stringent and difficult on mergers like this than anybody else. They are the ones who everybody thought were going to be like, no, you can't do this.
That's it.
So the fact that they approved it, Japan approved it, Brazil approved it, people are like, yo,
come on, let it go.
At this point, like, just give it up. Come on now.
Like
everybody's on board.
Just like Japan approving it. It's like the heart of Sony PlayStation.
Read the room right now. Like, just read the room.
100%. If you're an upstart cloud gaming service and you come into this space, Microsoft's running it. You go in like, yeah, I'm going to use these Activision joints. You go in there talking to Microsoft, and they whatever, and they look and they like what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They probably just gonna gobble them up.
It's possible. It's possible
Because a small acquisition. Look at what happened with Mixer.
Mm-hmm.
A small acquisition like that is the kind of thing that doesn't. It's a blip. Like it doesn't show up. Like PlayStation just bought another company, and nobody say nothing. There's no. We got to go through all of this.
About all that.
It ain't $70 billion either. You know what I'm saying? So Microsoft buys companies all the time.
True.
All the time, bro. They bought Nuance. You know who Nuance is?
Not familiar.
Name's familiar.
You remember Dragon Naturally Speaking?
Yes. That's
Nuance on Dragon Naturally Speaking.
Got it.
Microsoft bought them for like $6 billion, like in like 2007 or something like that. Like right around the time they were like, hey, you want to do this little thing called Connect where you can talk to your Xbox?
Talk to your sister. There's a reason why they wanted it.
As everybody was trying to innovate, like you talk to your Google, talk to your Alexa, talk to whatever, they bought the company that had been doing it longer than anybody else.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
So buying a startup, a early running cloud company, they like what they see, is nothing for them.
Especially if they're doing things right, and they as soon as they hear something that could potentially strengthen and bolster what Microsoft is doing, that contract is, hey, listen, we're going to slide this contract off the table right quick that we were talking about. We're going to slide you this one. We're just going to bring you. We're just going to bring you guys on board and give you even more support than what you have right now.
I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. There's a part of me that feels like if this deal doesn't go through for some reason, Microsoft already has a plan in place where they're going to buy something from Activision. Like the idea that Microsoft could just walk in and just buy Call of Duty.
Sorry, guys. Just give us Call of Duty. Yeah, just give us Call of Duty. We'll give you like 80% of what we were originally offering you. Just
you know what I'm saying, or something like that. Like, or buy one of the studios. Like, just buy Sledgehammer from them, and then buy the next studio that also works on Call of Duty, and then buy the third studio that also works on Call of Duty. Like, if Activision could sell them itself in pieces, and there would be nothing they could do. Because they would just buy it in chunks, and over time, it actually might end up being more expensive for Microsoft.
But it probably will be a payoff in the longer run in doing so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's like a plan C or D. They're sitting over on the table right now. Like, we ain't there just yet. Let's just
even buying one of them. Like obviously Call of Duty is the biggest thing, but if they could acquire one of them and develop something along the lines of a Call of Duty, obviously it probably won't necessarily take over from Call of Duty, but it could definitely create something, especially when, like, let's say, I think for the most part, everybody loves Black Ops and the original Modern Warfare series. If you can create something that resonates along the lines of one of the two of those games, you got something in your hands right now.
I mean, we shall see.
Possibly, yeah.
Did y'all see that Loki season 2 got a date?
Yep.
I did not see that. Ooh,
October
6th.
Okay.
Did you see that Echo got a date?
Yes.
Nope.
November 29th.
Okay.
Interesting.
Here's what we have to discuss. What jokes?
I know. I know where you're going with.
Do you? All right, then tell me where I'm going.
I think so. So obviously Loki we're getting, and it looks like it's coming to us, and it's normal. We'll probably get an episode each week. But for some reason, Echo, we are getting it all at one time. All at one time.
All episodes November 29th. Why?
I was like,
well, that's the least one I'm excited for, Echo. I'm thinking dead ass. Yes, I'm the least excited about Echo. Like I know nothing about her. Like nothing about the character had me excited to see it, and maybe because she's so, I guess, low key as far as the characters that are getting shows. Maybe that's why we're just gonna throw it all out there at once. Like kind of just here we go. We're not gonna make you wait each week for it or whatever, since it's not a low key. It's not Winter Soldier and Falcon, all these other ones we've been seeing. I'm thinking maybe that's the reason why. Let's just drop it to everybody, give it a one shot, so they can just have it all right then to consume, just because of who she is and people not really knowing. Possibly.
I mean,
so what do you think?
Couple things. One,
Tinfoil hat.
It's the series is super short. Maybe it's only like 4 or 5 episodes or something like that. Like that could be one. Two, what Marvel MCU or whatever do we have that would come out potentially in December that one, they don't want it to be in the way of that, or two, somehow Echo is going to end up directly tying into something that we're going to get either at the end of the year or the beginning of the year. And they're like, listen, we're just going to spoon feed you all this now. And so when that hits, it's going to resonate more. I mean, I feel like it's probably on the lines of one of those two than anything else. Or they feel like it's not that good and they just want to give it to everybody. I don't believe that one at all.
Yeah.
Do me a favor.
Mm-hmm.
What day is Thanksgiving? This is the butt end of November.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, Black Friday weekend. Could it just be like we're gonna give you the whole thing, like Thanksgiving, Black Friday weekend,
November 23rd?
Is that a Wednesday?
Before, yes.
It's not that.
Nope.
All right.
What other? What
shot though? That was worth a shot.
That was a good one. That was a good one. What other? Is there?
Like they did something like that before because they've put. All right. So check this out. I don't think November 29th is the real date. I think that joint's getting pushed up a week.
Was it Guardians, the holiday special on Thanksgiving this time around? Did it?
Yeah. Yeah, but remember that they have done that where they there was something else that they pushed up an episode or 2 episodes early or gave us 2 episodes on Thanksgiving for something new they were starting. It might have been Book of Boba Fett or something.
Yeah.
They gave us 2 instead of giving us the 1 episode or whatever, gave us 2 episodes and pushed them out at the same time or something like that right before Thanksgiving. I think this joint's going to get pushed up a week.
Okay.
I think right now they have it announced for then. It's making me wonder if they just push it up a week. Could there be something Daredevil related coming in December that they're just you know what?
I like the idea of something coming in December, and that's why let's get this out the way because there might be a tie-in. You know what I'm saying to it. I like that idea. Daredevil
almost feel like they're trying to give us something maybe for those last 4 months of the year, because technically, if I'm not mistaken, Agatha is supposed to come out at some point at the end of this year somewhere too. Unless that I don't recall that getting pushed, but I thought that was slated to come out at the end of 2023 as well too.
All right, what MCU movies do we have left this year?
The Marvels.
Which is when?
Hold on, I'm gonna pull up. Marvels is July 28th.
Okay.
That's it. Hold up.
Across the Spider-Verse, June 2nd. Right.
Yeah.
Kraven the Hunter, October 6th.
That's not a real thing.
Whoa, that's supposed to. Oh, whoa.
Right. The Marvels, I got November 10th, 2023.
Oh,
right. I was gonna say I thought they pushed the Marvels back to November.
That's what I was.
Ant-Man Wasp, that was February. Guardians, we just did that in May.
Secret Invasion obviously is June.
Those are the shows. Those are the movies. And shows, we got Secret Invasion, Loki, Echo.
You know what else is supposed to come out too? If I'm
X-Men 97.
That's what I was about to say.
That says fall 2023.
They're trying to keep. I feel like they're going to try to cram everything in the end of the year, so something is getting the tail end of this, and they're just like,
what if got delayed? It was supposed to be early this year.
So there's also the possibility, because one of the things that I have listed to talk about is that during their earnings call, Bob Iger said last Wednesday that by the end of this year, Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN will be one app.
Mm-hmm.
So they could be prepping for something like that by the end of the year, and that could possibly be shifting some of the way they're doing certain stuff. Because outside of the US, Hulu was never a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the content that is separated for us here that's on Hulu is already a part of Disney Plus, like in Europe, because they never had Hulu to begin with. So when Disney acquired Fox and got control of Hulu, that content just went to Disney Plus, just not here.
Yeah, right.
So what's going to happen is it'll be just like how on some other streaming services, like on Amazon, you can also have like a Showtime subscription, but you pay for it separate. So like you can see the content, but you can't access it unless you paid for it and you can sign into it. Same thing with like Peacock. Like Peacock has access to like Showtime as well. It'll be like that. So like if you have Disney Plus, but you don't have Hulu, you'll see the content, but you won't be able to access it. Right? It'll be like another channel. Same thing with ESPN, but it'll all be in one place. Now, what that does is it makes it so that they can charge a lot more for people to advertise. Because regardless of what service you have, you're in one place. So it takes all the eyes and puts them in one place. So like if you had a Hulu subscription, but you don't have Disney Plus, but now in order to see your stuff that's on Hulu, you have to log into Disney Plus. Bob said earlier that the problem with their content is it's too much and it's not good, so they want to slow down. Yeah. So, well, okay. So Disney lost like 4 million subscribers. And that also, I think, is a reason why when you are premiering new stuff on a technically a rival platform, but that you also own, it makes more sense for you to bring everything together. So think about it this way. Here's a little inside baseball for y'all. When we put in for press passes for different conventions and stuff like that, we don't say, oh, here's our Instagram follower count. Oh, here's our YouTube follower count. Oh, here's our whatever. We give them a combined total count. Because that's what our reach is total. So we combine everything into one. Here's what our total reach is like. It's the same thing. If you're Disney and you're talking to advertisers and you want them, well, all of a sudden, even if you can't access the Disney content, but you have a Hulu subscription, or you don't care about Disney or Hulu, but you have an ESPN Plus subscription, now when you go to sign in to watch your ESPN stuff, you're seeing all this Hulu stuff. One, it's a lot more likely that you're going to see something you might want to see and
absolutely
add on or get the bundle deal. Two, it means that you have, as a company, much more control over where all of the eyes across all of what were 3 separate subscription services are at any given time. And if you are advertising to people through that, you can charge a lot more because you have a lot more eyes in that one place.
Definitely.
Now, that also means that when you are promoting, when you are advertising for yourself, you're only telling people to go to one place.
One place versus like all these multiple locations for it.
And they happen to be already there in that place watching it. They don't have to click out, go anywhere else.
So we had Jose on the show 2 weeks ago. for AAPI month, who is character designer on Hitmonkey. When they go, oh, new episodes of Hitmonkey coming up now, it's on Hulu. You gotta go to this one place to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm
You're
saying?
gonna be seeing ads on EPN for the new shows and stuff. Like, hey, just switch over to Hulu. You get Hitmonkey, you get whatever, or Disney Plus. This dropping this week. This Marvel movie's dropping this in Disney Plus.
Just do the one service, because my understanding is they are still, at least for a certain period of time, they're still going to offer the services individually. Because I know
that's what I'm saying. You can still pay for them individually, but you're gonna have to go to Disney.
Go to the one to get it all anyway. Because like for me, I paid when they first announced Disney Plus, I paid up and gave them money and shelled out for the 3 years. So I'm technically still using that, because when at one point I went to Verizon as a cell phone service, so Verizon was giving folks Disney Plus for their service, and it actually put that Disney Plus subscription, the main one, on hold. So I had only used that for maybe a year. So I just recently switched from Verizon to AT&T. So now my plan just picked back up.
Right.
So I still have Disney Plus technically for an additional 2 years. And it's like, I'm wondering for me if somehow they will figure out how to. I know they're not. Like, I know. Because I would like to do that. But I
can tell you now that, like, because remember, I did the same thing. When they first did Disney Plus, they allowed you to sign up. Like, you did it, Meshuggah joint, where you ended up doing a 3-year joint. But for everybody else, basically, they did it where it was like you can pay for the whole year if you want to, or you can pay $7.99 a month or whatever. And if you did it for the whole year, it was cheaper. So I did it for that whole first year. But then when they offered the bundle, originally they only offered Hulu and Disney. Then they added in ESPN. So what they did was they basically prorated it. So you're still paying, but you're not paying as much. So they basically just prorated it. Which is, I'm sure, all they do, because they're gonna figure out how to get their money out of you. That's
they're gonna try.
Good job. Yeah, I think it's interesting that we've had a lot of conversations on here about how Netflix drops stuff and tends to do everything they do all at once. Here it is, binge it, watch it all weekend, talk about it, and then come back and talk about it all week long next week. Watch it all weekend, right? And it pushes their numbers up for a long period of time, where Disney tends to do it more like regular TV, where they drop, once a week, which I think makes sense for Disney, because Disney owns ABC and they have lived actual television broadcasting and dropping episodes over the course of time, week to week. Keeping people coming back is just part of what, you do. But the fact that for what was Netflix's biggest show, Wednesday, they did it week over week. And now Disney's doing it where they're like, you know what, we're just going to give it all to you right now and see what it is. Part of what I feel like is that Echo might just be off to the side enough that they're willing to risk trying something new. Yeah. Okay. Just again, and it could be that it's shorter episodes or something like that. It would actually surprise me if this was like 13 episodes or something like that. And they're like, nah, you can have all 13. They've tended to stay somewhere around 8.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking 6 to 8.
I don't even think that. I'm thinking 4 or 5 episodes. Like I'm thinking maybe
it was like if they were going to do that, they would call it like a mini series or something like that. Like, I don't, you know what I mean?
Limited series, something.
The other part of it is there's so much that's going to happen between now and November in the MCU proper.
It could change.
Who knows what is going to actually be.
That is 1,000% correct.
At the time,
an MCU character may not make it, and they may say, you know what? Let's pump the brakes a little bit. We're going to change things up a little bit.
Here's the other piece of it. I know Bob Iger said we need to slow down. We're not whatever. The reality of it is, them writers are striking. You don't have no choice but to slow down.
Yeah.
You ain't got no choice. You can make it sound like a business decision all you want. Right now, you don't have control over that. So all they can technically do right now is tell us that we're getting these shows that they know are already done. they are at least written. And if
Right.
there are rewrites that need to be done, that ain't happening. Not right now, it's not. Right? So again, this plan of getting us through the end of this year as best they can. When I told you 2 weeks ago, look for your streaming services to start leaning into their current content that they own that doesn't exist anywhere else. Their old content. Hey, dog, don't forget, we got Saved by the Bell. Don't forget, we got Friends. Don't forget, like all these old shows that like, because you're not going to be able to get nothing new. And everybody's going to be running reruns because they're not going to have a choice.
Mm-hmm. Hey, they about to start. MCU is like, hey, listen, y'all, go start from the beginning with Iron Man 1 and work your way back through.
It might be the best thing right now that like they're starting to have contracts flip over where they're like, yep, Spider-Man is now on Disney. You know what I mean? It's like it might be the best thing right now because they're gonna need to lean on content that already exists in order to keep these streamers. Like, look, we went through this thing with the pandemic. It could easily, like you please understand that like YouTube is going to see a lift because it will be one of the only places where you can get like new content. And it will be people you never heard of. You know, like it is, if they don't figure this out, a lot is going to change. And combining streaming services into one thing instead of being like, you got to go here, here, and here. No, put it all in one place because we want you to feel like we have the most content for you to consume. So when you get here, don't leave here. Don't go to Netflix. Don't go to Peacock. Don't go to like, stay here. So combining it all into one thing, like HBO just did the same thing with this whole Max thing and bringing Discovery stuff over. It's the same idea. Stop trying to send us to all these different places because that's making people feel anxious.
Right. Oh, right back to cable. It's like
I said that about wrestling. The fact that you got to have 3 different streaming services or something like that just to watch all of what's happening in WWE. Like
which is, you know, it's an ownership issue. So, you know, some of those changes I think have a lot to do with those things coming down the pipeline and companies trying to prepare themselves to deal with the fact that they're not about to come to a consensus anytime soon. Some shows are going to get ruined. Some seasons ain't going to happen. Like, look, bro, far be it from me to fan the flames of Fast X is going to be a trilogy. Who gonna write it?
Vin Diesel. What you talking about? He gonna do it himself. What you mean? He got all the family.
Thank you for that. But yes, the writer's strike is good.
Family.
Hey, if you came back and said we are Groot, it would have been perfect. Mario Brothers. Dog. That joint is out.
I'm about to eat that joint up on digital platforms right now.
That joint is out. You know what I'm doing right now? Watching Mario Brothers. Smoking in boots, bruh. Is that too soon? Am I
feels like it.
Has it been 45 days?
I feel, that joint went by quick.
Day for Mario Brothers.
Yeah, has it?
I don't think it's been 45. It's probably been 30. I think it's been 30.
Oh, it's supposed to be at least 45 days before that joint goes to streaming platform.
Hey, they probably pulled the audible when that joint just picked up and they was making that money left and right. They probably said, "Hey guys, let's just go ahead and do this."
Yeah, but it was still making money in the theater. Like we hit $1 billion. We good. Drop it.
April 5th.
What? April 5th.
April 5th.
It's been 30. Yeah.
It's like exactly 45.
They
wasted 45. They scheduled that joint out. That joint was scheduled.
It was wait.
They scheduled everything.
Push the goddamn button.
Here's what's funny though. So you can buy it, but you can't just stream it. When it comes to streaming services, it's coming to Peacock. And while they like, you had to know that, right? Because it's universal. But they haven't announced a date for when that's gonna happen.
Smart. I want people to know.
Buy it, people, if you want to watch it.
Don't come next week to Peacock on Tuesday. Oh, guys, by the way,
we'll wait.
Mario's available on Peacock.
I ain't gonna lie. I just bless Universal with a Fast 25. Oh, here you go. Boop. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can have it. Let's watch these brothers, man. Let's watch them. It does seem fast though, right? Like
it does seem really fast.
God, that joint went like this, dog. There's no point in going to see fast. That joint gonna be like this, dog. It's gonna drop.
No, I gotta see the theater. I need all that. I need that experience.
Okay. We're gonna wrap the show up. So we got zombies to kill.
That's what he was about to say. I was like, he ready to kill some zombies. It's like, let's go.
I kind of want to get out of this tie.
Respect.
This weekend, Sin and I will be at Comic Logic Artwork and Books and stuff in Northern Virginia, Ashburn, for LotCon, which is this Sunday, the 21st, from 12 to 4. I'm gonna tell you right now, we got snacks.
Facts
on snacks.
They're already
Jokes is not gonna be there,
unfortunately,
but Sin and I are gonna have some snacks. It's going down. That's right, and stuff. So listen, the folks at Comic Logic are just
That's
not bad. That's not.
It's like they are our family. Yeah. They are people. Yeah. It's good folks, and I'm actually really excited about seeing everybody and hanging out and spending some time up there. Yeah.
Oh yes, Frosty.
Frosty. Snacks that you will be eating some of.
So be ready.
Be afraid. No. Be afraid.
I mean, I don't know if you got to be afraid.
If Sin has some stuff in his arsenal, yeah.
I have sent y'all everything that I've gotten recently.
He don't do that to everybody. He does that to you. So, hey, you know what, Jokes? I got some crickets. Crickets. You gotta know what cricket. Woo! So yes, this Sunday. Look, man, make the trip.
Sunday.
Why not? For a couple of hours, come out. There's some really good places to eat nearby.
It's a good time too.
Definitely ready.
Pull up.
Definitely glad you're ready.
Great time.
Probably be there a bit early. You know, we like to come out, check things out, scope things out. We'll shoot some interviews. We're gonna shoot some snack bites. And what that's gonna do is give us some additional content to drop the Patreon first. We can't wait to see you either.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? We're super excited. Super to the duper excited. Jokes. Normally, you have a job to do. Some reason you can't figure out how to get it done. So, Sin, would you do me a favor and do Jokes a favor and do his job for him, please?
I can certainly do that.
Go right
Thank you. Sin is putting the Beacons link in your chat boxes so that you all can click that link and follow us everywhere. Cool whip. Follow us everywhere.
Cool whip. Say cool. Say whip. Now say cool whip.
That's
cool whip.
Okay. Say Stewie. Where'd I get that? Okay.
Straight up.
They put so much emphasis on H. Why are you putting so much emphasis on H? No, I'm not. Cool whip.
What are you talking about? Whip. Everywhere. Follow us everywhere. We're all over the place. Because that's the best way to make sure y'all see us and see y'all. Sin, you do have your own job to do now, if you would.
Sure. So let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, and Ellis Mbe. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
That is an absolute fact. So check this out. Loading Snacks Movie Club is a thing. If you're not in the club, go to Facebook, look up Loading Snacks Movie Club, say, I want to be in. We got you. We got you. Because there's some things happening you don't want to miss. Starting with next week on Wednesday, we are doing a watch along of Movie of the Month, which is Justice League, The Flashpoint Paradox. 8 o'clock on Wednesday in Discord. If you go to the page, the pinned link is a link to the Discord. Jump in, join Discord, hang out with us next week while we watch the movie together in preparation for our discussion, which is happening the following Wednesday on the 31st. So, we also have, yes, what?
Hey.
We also have special guest Shady Hayes is joining us next week for Loading Snacks Weekly to help us to celebrate and highlight AAPI Month, Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders Heritage Month. So please make sure you tune in for that. Shady is awesome, and it is always a good show when she's here to hang out with us. She loves Pokemon, I think, as much, if not more than jokes. Still, I'm going to try to limit it for my own sanity, for my own personal sanity. Sin, what's happening Thursday?
Thursday, two things. The finale of Anime Vote Season 3 goes up for everybody on Thursday, so look forward to that. That's the Visions of Escaflowne is how we're closing this run out. And we are moving on to the next 4 episodes of Thriller Park with Kabani of the Iron Fortress. Jumps, you missed, I will say, one hell of a 4 episodes last week. I will say if you like Attack on Titan, you want to see this one so far. It's done by the same people that did Attack on Titan, and you see those same vibes in it. Music, action, just it is.
Wit Studio? Which one we talking about?
Just pull up and watch.
What? All right.
Just pull up and watch. It was a really good viewing. So everybody was excited. We're all hyped for it to keep going. So join us 8 p.m. in the Discord, Thriller Park channel, Thursday.
Dig it. Can we wrap this up?
Think we can.
Guys?
I think so.
You have anything else? Jokes, you got anything? Yeah, something on your chest? You want to say something? What's up?
Just something for the folks in the wrestling chat. Looking to push a little more content out for the finisher and a couple things. So be on the lookout for a post. I kind of want to get some topics that you guys want to hear me talk about, possibly have you on with me to talk about. I know we talk news, we talk about things in the moment as they happen all the time, but I feel like there's some other topics that we can talk about necessarily there. Because, I mean, Gage just said this is the best. Wrestling is just always happening. But I think we got some topics that we can talk about other than what's going on right now. So look out for that post that's coming in wrestling chat.
No, wrestling is currently the hardcore belt. It is the 24-hour hardcore belt. Like that just never stops.
Hey, listen, this dude,
that's the best belt they ever did.
Look, this dude, and Seth Rollins.
If you want to have a argument about that, if you want to do that on an episode, count me in, bro. Best belt they ever did is the hardcore 24. Like, yo,
that's your. Hey, listen, that's your.
Hardcore is one of my favorite belts.
Party, bro. I'm finna pick your belt. You could go grocery shopping.
That dude Seth Rollins. That dude Seth Rollins apparently is in Captain America: New World Order.
Burn it down.
And that's your head.
Why you keep saying stuff?
Too
different because he knew what I was talking about.
I almost started singing the song.
I just don't want to hear it. Like I don't. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen.
We can have a whole discussion on Rhea Ripley because that was one of our topics. We talked about some of the greatest of all time, both the men and the women, and she's doing a good job at trying to submit her name. Now, listen. She's trying to submit what she's trying to do to go in that direction. There's some other people that are definitely doing more than her right now, but she's solid. Right now, she's super solid. It's just a matter of see how far this goes. But she's right now is on top of her game.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Future Hall of Famer.
I dig it. She's having her moment. I'm not mad at that.
Mm-hmm.
She ain't no Ric Flair, but what I'm saying, what are you gonna do? Okay, so we're gonna take the show out. Joe, should I let you take the show out? Or should I just take it out? You want to take it out?
Unless if you got something new, you got a new one, or you got your newer one, or if not, I would gladly take it out.
I always have something because I don't never not have something, but I just
let's see what you got this round then.
Oh my goodness! I feel like he feels like. You okay, Sin? You like?
Good.
I don't know what.
Maybe he's got something. Okay, maybe he's got something. Let's see if he can take it out. Why don't we see if he can take it out for a change?
Nah.
What, if I can just say something to take it out, I could do that.
Oh, all right, yeah, go ahead then. That's cool. I'm with that.
All right. There is no good, there is no bad, only perspective and opinion.
Ooh.
It's in his bio. If you paid attention to play Xbox with us, jokes, you would know that. It's been there for like 10 years.
Yes.
With that, we're out. Toodles and lose.
Loading snacks.